So the Time magazine named Trump as a person of the year. It came as a surprise to many that he was named the person of the year. And was it a crown that he got in the Trump after winning the election, which surprised many people. And now the Time magazine has named him the person of the year. And it came as a surprise to many that he has gotten this. But what does that mean? What criteria do they use? Every year, Time magazine names a person of the year. So according to MSNBC divines that the title is given to the individual who, for better or for worse, did the most to shape the world under the headlines over the past 12 months. Well, based on these criteria, it is hard to disagree with its peak this year. Trump has survived an assassination attempt, molded the Republican Party in his image, and arguably forced the US electorate into a rightward shift and won the presidential election. Based on that divination, yes, he's the person of the year. In the history of this Time magazine, even in people like Stalin, Vladimir Putin, even Adolf Hitler has been named there. So it is either for better or for worse, but so long as he has that influence, and indeed he got the influence. Trump won an election when we thought he's losing. He had a message which was vague, that the most people whom they call the elite couldn't decipher. But he had a constituency which was listening to him, and he ended up winning in a big way. So being named as the person of the year, he actually demonstrated that he can do it, and he did it. And he did it in a very funny way, that when you look at the population he pushed to his side was a large one, and surprised even the people who were polling, the pollsters could not fathom that. Look, Trump created many coalitions. Among the Latino men, he increased Trump gain from 2016 41 points. That's an amazing that he attained from Latino men. Voters of color with no degree, he switched 26 points. Latino women 25. Voters of color with college degrees 17. And coming down, black men, he indeed increased black men by 13 points. And between 18 to 29 by 8 points, 30 to 44, 6 points. Black women, 5 points. Urban people went up by 4. Rural increased by 3 points, which is mostly Republican. You see all of these groups, which were for Democrats, at least they shifted. You see, as I said, the white women with college degrees, although that one went down. The only group, white men with no degrees, went down. I don't know why. White men with college degrees went down. But no matter all that, indeed, he is a man of the year, with better or worse. But now it all remains Trump, the candidate, and now Trump, the president. We know he had a rousy first election. We hope that this one is going to improve on it. There are so many things he has promised, like immigration. He has promised to seal the border and stop the migration invasion, enforce migration laws. He's going to do a largest deportation, strict vetting, stop sanctuary cities. We are going to wait and see how he's going to achieve that. But one of the things he needs to be careful, it is the mandate he has been given. He should really take, if there is something he needs to take, he needs to take the advice of Mahatma Gandhi when he was once addressing, and I just, he has won the crown of thorns. This crown of thorns, the victory he has is like the crown of thorns. It's not a bed of roses. And paraphrasing Mahatma Gandhi when he was addressing the cabinet of West Bengal in 1947, he said, "From today, you have to wear the crown of thorns. Strive ceaselessly to cultivate truth and non-violence. Be humble, be forbearing. The MAGA, no doubt, put you on the metal, but you will be tested through and through. Beware of power. Power corrupts. Do not let yourself be entrapped by this pomp and pageantry. Remember, you are a novice to serve the American people. May God help you." Those are very kind words that Trump needs to listen, that the victory was given as a president. Yeah, he was wearing, he has to be a man of the year because he was convicted. I mean, he had convicted, found guilty at 4 counts, and he had many cases that he never handed power. Now we want to see how he's going to move forward with here. You will be given the mandate, but that mandate can turn around to kill you. If he can use the mandate he has and change this country, we're yet to see, and we wish him the best. But then there are many things he needs also to be debriefed. He has been given this mandate with some of the people expecting funny things from him, which actually might put him in some situation. And I would like you to listen what some of the thinking of the people who voted for him want.
But I want to know how it is you voted for Donald Trump when you're so into facts, because his entire campaign is not based in facts. It was all based in propaganda and emotion.
I voted for Donald Trump for one reason only. His policies, if implemented, would slow the dispossession of whites in the United States. If he were to deport all illegal immigrants, if he were to think very hard about letting in any Muslims, all of this would slow the rate at which whites are becoming a minority.
Why are you so worried about the white dispossession of America?
Because I want my people to survive. Is that so strange? We don't control China. We don't control any place where whites are not a majority. And if we become a minority, we will not control our own destiny anymore.
I grew up in this country as a minority, as the children of immigrants. I was their first child born in America. And while I didn't have much possession or didn't much control, I really enjoyed myself. And I think that if you ask a lot of Americans, they would say that I had a lot to offer this country. You know, according to you, I guess I would be perpetuating the dispossession of white America.
That is true. That is true.
Would you say that you wouldn't want me in this country?
At some point, when my ancestors built this nation, they did not build it with the intention of giving it away to Mexicans or Chinese or Haitians or to anyone else.
Do you consider, you keep saying your ancestors built this country, you consider that a fact?
Who else built it?
Black people, Native Americans, Chinese people who came and built the railroads.
Do you think none of that could have been
Italian
achieved?
people.
But they're Europeans, aren't they?
Wow. So those are the people who voted for him to make sure that the white population does not become a minority, that he would have to deport people. How are you going to achieve that? Don't you think Trump supporters will be disappointed? Let me give Trump a brief history of America. Before the Europeans came, before Columbus landed in the shores of the Americas, there were indigenous people. And by the time they came here, America, people who are roaming here, the natives, the Red Indians, who they supposedly called Red Indians. The natives of this country, they were amounting to 1.7 million when Columbus landed. But a century later, that population had been reduced because the Europeans came and took their land. They killed them by the gun. They literally killed them and they put them into reserves. They reduced their population. So indeed, this country, the owners are now in the reserves. Even if we celebrate that we have independence, from who? When the Europeans went into Africa, they colonized Africans, but Africans got independence, got their land, and the Europeans went back home. So in 1776, why didn't the Europeans return? So if they are saying they are becoming a minority, yes, they are becoming a minority, but is there anybody killing them? No. It is because they are not giving more children. And that's why the population is reducing. The population has been reducing. So he has come like a match, like, who's going to do it? How are you going to do it? Those are some of the thinking as you read the script. They think they are going to do it. And I hope we will have to increase them, that let them increase their population by getting children, not deporting. So this, as the Europeans came, that is how they forced Africans who are here. They came like that. This is a country of population. If we have to leave, Trump has to leave to Poland when other people are going to Mexico, whatever. If he's going to deport, he should also self-deport himself, because that is the reality. That is the reality he needs to tell people. It is indeed true, not only in America. This cry of white population decreasing or is all over. What is?
Let's take Amsterdam, the capital. Amsterdam currently consists of 56% migrants. The Hague, 58% migrants. Rotterdam, almost 60% migrants. And of course, most of these immigrants come from non-Christian, non-Western, African and Middle Eastern countries. Conclusion, the Dutch population is already outnumbered in the majority of our cities. But let's look onwards. London, 54% migrants. Again, conclusion, native population outnumbered. Brussels, color me shocked, 70% migrants. Conclusion, native population majorly outnumbered. And other Europe.
So it isn't America alone. This is going all over in Europe and many other places. Why are other countries having more population than others? Yes. When people develop, they don't want to get many children, the cost becomes higher. We should approach that this country, the cake is so big for everybody. He promised that he's going to put tariffs so that factories will come back from China, from where? So that people in Michigan and whatever, they will get the jobs, the factory jobs would come back. I know there was a time in this country that factory jobs, people who were working in factories were earning more than people who were working in office. That's true. But we also need to embrace change. Some of those factories which have gone, they are not going to come back. Trump knows that. What is going to happen? Is he going to be a man of the year again? They will be disappointed. Let's hope, but we wish him well. But let's hope to wait and see what will happen. We'll be here on this forum to see